So Marie, welcome to Conversations with Kieran. Let's have a little toast.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Kieran's first drink since the 31st of December.
5 weeks today. Proud.
Sorry to make you break your drought.
No, honey, if I was going to be with anyone, I'm glad it's with you. So Marie, let's do a little chat, and why do you not tell everybody who you are, and then we can move on to how we know each other.
Well, I'm Marie, and I am a client of Kieran's.
Mm-hmm.
And
a best friend.
And a friend now.
But, I said best friend.
Oh,
awkward.
Oh, sorry. I'm Kieran's oldest friend, maybe. But we've known each other for nearly 3 years, I think.
Yeah.
And we've been training together for over 2 now. You were my New Year's resolution 2 years ago, whatever year that was.
I'm still here.
And every year I'm like, still doing it, still wasn't a fad. So yeah, we've got to know each other through training. But our training sessions are a bit like counselling sessions.
Both ways, by the way.
100%.
May I add, 100% both ways.
And which has been brilliant.
Yeah.
Which keeps me coming to the gym. And I love coming to the gym with you. I've told you that already. But I love it because it's relaxed and we have a chat, and we have a laugh, and we're dead honest. And you've made me enjoy the gym, and that makes me feel more confident in going.
Amazing. So when me and Marie first met each other, it was during COVID, wasn't it?
Well,
you could tell, you
That's
the story, babes.
So it started in COVID, and it was lockdown. Right at the beginning of the first lockdown. It's weird to say the first lockdown, like how long it went on. But remember that time when they said you're going to have to stay in your house?
It was proper.
And it was so weird.
Yeah.
And everyone was trying to work out what to do. And I think it was a Friday night, you did like an online class from your living room.
Instagram Live.
And my daughter Grace said, oh, this is really great class online, you should try it. So it became our Friday night ritual. We would do Kieran's class and have a bottle of wine. But I loved it because it always balanced. But because you were great online, and that's quite kind of hard, I think, to get that across on Zoom. But you can tell how good you were, what a nice person you were, but also the music. So that seems a really good start to Friday night.
Yeah.
And we used to stand over there and do it together, me and Grace, in this little bit here. And then there must have been a shift in the lockdown where you could meet up. I think you had to meet up outside.
I think you were allowed to meet, God, there were so many rules, but I think it was that you were allowed to meet up with someone outside, but if it was distance. So I started offering, because I was a newly qualified PT, so I built a little gym in my garden, a gazebo, and I'm pretty sure you were like my first or second first client. And I always remember, like, and I laugh about it now because it was literally like a tycoon storm outside. In this tiny gazebo. I had a mat on the ground, get you to do exercises.
And the wind was blowing the rain through it.
Yeah, but there was like a waterfall at each corner of the gazebo. And I'm like, right, a couple of more reps, keep going. But it was fun though.
It was fun. And you had your music outside.
Yeah.
But I think because of the class that you did online, I was thinking, if I'm going to do regular exercise, I want somebody to encourage me. Mm-hmm. And because I was like, I think we'll get on, and that would be good. I don't know, we'd get going like this. We'd have salad and wine together.
Best friends, darling. Best friends. No, but do you know what? Touching on that, what I think is really good, and it's actually like to show people as well, like we say age is just a number. And I was saying this to you in the gym yesterday. Was it yesterday or the day before? But I was like, I literally do classify you as like one of my best friends because we've connected in such a way and we share everything with each other. And like stereotypically, you wouldn't probably actually see maybe people with a, what age gap is it?
Is it 20 years, I think? You're 28, yeah? And I'm 48, nearly 40.
You didn't have to chuck the number out there.
But you've got that to worry about.
Could we just give a moment of appreciation because you are absolute fabulous. I love it. I'm absolutely obsessed with it.
Yeah, but it's funny because how many times in the gym do we talk about and you're like, we're always hard on ourselves.
Yeah.
And that's what I like because we can be honest when you're feeling just a bit. Mm-hmm. And it's like, no, come on. And it's a reminder not to get into that headspace.
Yeah.
I told you already, certain things going on in our lives, people are unwell or not doing great, and it's a reminder of how lucky we are. Like, health's really important, but
health as well.
We shouldn't be so hard on ourselves either. Life is short.
No, it is. That is for sure. Yeah. And with yourself, you are a super interesting character, shall we say, and I find it really inspiring actually from what you've told me of what you've accomplished over your years, starting from the first job to what you're doing now. So would you like to give a little insight to the viewers?
I mean, that's funny when you talk about it like that, because I think when you're doing something, you're just in the moment and you're doing it and you don't really think about it.
Yeah,
and that's maybe a good thing or a bad thing, I don't know. But actually, when somebody stops and and thinks about it and says that from you did this before and now you're doing this, you're like, oh yeah, that's true. Obviously, over a series of years, kind of built up to this. But my first job was, well, out of school job was working in the airport, Edinburgh Airport. Worked at check-in, which I loved because you check people in on a computer. Then it was fun. You spoke to everybody, and I love speaking to people, as you know. So I loved all the people in the airport. It was so interesting. Where you going? Why are you going there? People were doing happy things, doing sad things. People were scared. People were excited. People were. So it was always different, and I really do love people. And then you would be up in the departure lounge with them and all that kind of stuff. And then somebody said you should be an air hostess, which, to be fair, I didn't really like flying, so it was a bit of a weird move. So I got over my fear of flying because I was on a plane all day, every day, all my life for 10 years. I don't really like flying so much now again, which is strange.
Well, you're still a wee jet setter, babes.
Yeah, well, take a nice big glass of wine before I got on the flight. But I'm much better than I was, and that's a whole other story. But then I stopped flying because I'd met John, we got married, and then we had the kids. And John travelled a lot then as well, so it was obviously not, we could both travel. So I stopped that, took 5 years off when the kids were really small, and then John had the idea of LS Productions, which was called Location Scotland then, and it was a total, like a start-up round my kitchen table, kind of, I had no idea what I was doing. Sometimes I think now, I know loads now, but sometimes I think, how do I know that? But I do anyway. So I knew nothing. So it's actually weird because starting when you know nothing means you have to learn everything, which I loved because you didn't assume you knew anything. So it was always about, what do you think? What does that mean? I'm not frightened to say I don't understand what that is. Just tell me what it is. And so the company started tiny, small for at least 5 years, really small, didn't take any income. It was very much not a hobby job, that puts it down, but I was in a really fortunate position that John earned the money to pay the bills, that I could give this a go. And I used to say to John, one day you might not want to travel this much, or what if you get unwell and you can't travel and we have no income because he's freelance. So all your wages are when you work. If you're unwell, you don't get paid. And I said, if I started this business and we could make a little bit out of it, that would give us a bit more balance. And that's became a sort of theme of our life. How do we tip the balance from him to both of us? And now it's definitely tipping more to the business. John's much more in the business now, but it's tipping more, and he doesn't travel the same amount. He's away at the moment, but he doesn't travel as much. And that was nearly 18 years ago.
And what is your business for people that?
So it's a production company, and we basically organise all the logistics of shoots, be it photo shoots, music videos, TV commercials, and sometimes we service film and TV, like slices of films or TV episodes, for example. So just to keep it really simple, somebody comes to us with the idea of what they want to do, and we work out actually how they're going to do it. So where they're going to eat, where they're going to sleep, how much will it cost, how many casts do you need? Do you need animals? Do you need props? Do you need power? What equipment? So we sort everything out. We just don't film the thing, to keep it simple, because everyone can say, "Did you do that?" I said, "Not really."
But can I just give where credit's due, just to make it plain and simple, black and white? I've got a mother here with 3 kids who started off with an idea at a kitchen table, and it's an impact. Like, you're like a CEO. Like, I just think that's like.
What does CEO actually mean?
I don't know. Google it.
It's Chief Executive Officer.
No, but do you know what I mean?
Chief Excitement Officer, because I think my job in the business is to keep the excitement. Like, we work in an interesting industry, and it's really, really hard work. You hear what I talk about at the gym. There's a lot to do and a lot to hang it all together, but it's about people. Going back to why I like people and just being nice. So one of our company values is don't be a dick. Sometimes I get slapped off with that. It's actually called, they've got 5 values, and one of them is don't be a dick. And I've got a massive sign in my office. It's beautiful, made marble, mirrored sign thing. I'll show you a picture of it. And it's don't be a dick, established 2006. And it's the whole point is don't let your ego get in the way. Don't make things harder than it needs to be. Be nice and kind to each other, because you don't know what anyone's going through. And don't get me wrong, not everyone I work with is nice and kind to each other. But if we set out with that intention, so I think we're just being decent humans in what we do. And so my job is Chief Excitement Officer. Keep our feet on the ground, really think about what we're doing, and have fun doing it, because we're dead lucky.
Did you think when you first started this that it would be as successful as it is now, like how big it is? So I'm not saying you don't.
Chance. Sorry.
So I was going to say, I'm not saying you downplay it at all, but like, it is, like, it's really pretty major what you do.
But I think you probably know me well enough to know, like, I think it's amazing, but it's not the only thing in my life.
No, and that's what I love about you, because you're so grounded with it.
But I love it, and when I get to do stuff, I'll say, oh my God, guess where I went, guess who I met, guess whatever, love. But I think I always believed I could do something to make this industry that we're in and the production industry a better place. Because John would tell me all these stories, and I think, I could do that better. That's just simple common sense.
Mm-hmm.
But I had no idea it could be this size. I don't think at all then, and it's probably a good learning. Sometimes you just have to see what happens along the way. So I didn't set out and write a plan then. I think this could go to this. I do now. I've got a 5-year plan, and I think I know where it's going to go in 5 years because I've learned loads on it. But at that early stage, definitely not.
See, like, if I was to ask a question now, because this is slightly conflicting, only because I've listened to a podcast like this recently. I think with business, you do have to have a business plan, a 5-year plan. For personal growth, maybe when we're talking about New Year's resolutions, how you set yourself up, like, you must do this. So do you think, like, as for personal growth, that you should have a 5-year plan, or do you think it should just be more business? Do you think there's a balance in between? Because again, this is like me speaking out loud as well. I don't think there's a right or wrong answer to this. It's like everybody has got a different outlook on it. For me, I've got year goals that I want to achieve, right? But then do you think sometimes, like, if you're doing like a New Year's resolutions, that you must do this, and if you don't, you can then setting yourself up for disappointment if you don't hit them? Remember we spoke about this, you're like, the New Year's resolutions. Yeah. So do you think
loads of questions in there? First of all, I think you should sort of set out roughly where you want to go. Somebody said to me once, it's a bit like a ship leaving the harbour. If it didn't know where it was going, it could sail all over the place. So to me, you're just setting an intention, and if you roughly get towards it, then you're a winner. So I don't think you would fail if you did. So I'm going to run a marathon. Oh, I only run 20 miles in a 26. That's not failure. You've run 20 miles more than you would have if you had set it out. That's how I look at it. But if you hadn't put in your mind you want to run the marathon, you wouldn't see the achievement either. You would just think, oh, well, I've done that. It's a fine line. I think with business, back in the day when I started it, it was too early for me to write a plan because I didn't know what I was doing. I was just playing about it. But quite soon, like anything, you have to, because if not, you're all over the place. And to me, I was scared of plans because I felt like it was like getting a tattoo and it was unchangeable. And now I've learned if you set a plan, 80% is good enough. That's something that always sticks in my head. So that just sets out that journey. And if you need to tweak the plan, it isn't a tattoo. You can rub it out a bit and put something else on your plan. Do you know what I mean? So, but I think it is good to strive, but without putting so much pressure on yourself, you feel it's achievement or failure. It's somewhere a bit in between of that.
So,
but I think you should also have a personal plan. Yes, I really do.
Yeah, and something to go off.
And I think when we were talking in the gym, and you were saying that I'm going to do this, and I was like, funny, in my business group that I go to every month and just stop and think about the business, the sort of controversial approach to it was don't set too many hard and fast goals. In fact, you're already a high achieving person. In some ways, just adding more. Like, I'm going to learn Spanish this year. It's like, when the hell will you get the time to learn it? I'd like to learn Spanish.
Hola.
So
Hola, mami.
Well, more than I know. There's a Spanish class you go to have a glass of wine and speak Spanish. I'd love to go to that, but my lifestyle at the moment does not allow me the time to do that. So I've just accepted that and thought, well, maybe or maybe it's just not for this year, it's for another year. So maybe sometimes the goals can be take a few things off your plate.
Yeah.
Rather than adding more and then going, oh fuck, I never learned Spanish, so a failure this year. So that's not true. No. We're already achieving.
No, totally.
Sounds so cheesy though.
No, but it's totally right though. And it's everything what you're saying is correct. As well with this podcast, guys, like I've said this I think in the last one as well, I don't really prepare for it. I do kind of have a rough idea, I know what I'm going to say, but there's nothing written down. Because I think it needs to be organic. Do you know what I mean?
Did we not just talk in the gym? What were we going to talk about? You were like, what do you think? Well, and we roughly worked out 3 things.
Like 3 subjects we're going to kind of roughly talk about. The first one is, what is it?
This is my son,
huh?
I think. He'll be like, what the hell are you doing? You're going to be shocked.
I love it.
To edit this back.
No, keep it out. Keep it out. So if I was to ask you, would you change anything? Like if you could tell your younger self, when you were sitting at that kitchen table, doing what you're doing, is there anything you would tell yourself? So maybe not so much change. What advice would you give your younger self?
It's always the same sort of things. Believe in yourself more. Trust your opinion. Trust your gut. sometimes I think you have to learn that over time anyway.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure if you even told you. I mean, okay, like if a magic wand sorted out for you, then that might be good. I would I'd probably tell my younger self it's going to be okay. It's all going to work out through all the rough times. It's all going to work out okay.
So this leads us on to our second installment of the video. We'll do another wee cheers. Cheers.
You never looked in the eye.
What the fuck? Can't be risking Sandra's bad luck, so it's not my situation anyway, definitely not. So, another subject we wanted to touch on was work-life balance and what is important things to remember and key elements. So, with yourself, because you're super busy, you're actually jetting off all the time up and down the UK, the world. How do you like to plan things? And also because I know with working with myself with PT and gym and stuff, how do you like to balance things out?
It's really hard to get a balance, but I think it's trying to work out what's important to you. So what's important to me, and we've all got the same amount of hours in the week, so it's just chopping up that week to try and make it work. Probably going back to what I said before though, without putting loads of pressure on yourself, because you'll know sometimes I'll see you twice a week, sometimes it's once, sometimes it has to wait 10 days because but then you've made me a like program if you do it in your hotel room or do it in the hotel gym or something. So for me it's about as much flexibility as possible. That's why it's good being at David Lloyd, because you can go 6 in the morning or 6 at night.
Trademark. You should be saying
and even when you were at David Lloyd, we'd just try and work out what does your next week look like, how do you fit it in. So, but I've also realised, and you need to listen to this, I think, is that you need time out of being busy to do nothing, which is quite hard because we're quite ambitious people and driven.
Very.
And sometimes there's not. Yeah, definitely. But sometimes it's good just to not do anything. So how do you fit that in your week? So for me, I just create little moments. And I'm lucky I do control my diary at work. You know, I can choose to come to you at 10 in the morning if I can and put it in my diary and block it out. So I block out bits of time. It's sometimes not loads of time either, because I think people are like, oh, I can't take a whole day off. Well, don't take an hour to yourself.
Yeah.
Or when you're finished PT, build in another half an hour to go to the spa or whatever it is. But then again, trying to not make it a pressure, and some of that stuff just to chill out. So you know, I've got a place down at Pease Bay, a lodge down there, and the reason I go there is because it's a complete switch off. You don't have to get dressed up. You can just wear pajamas. You look at the sea. You can kind of do nothing. So it's just trying to find the things that work for you. So what works for me is not going to work for you so much. So it's just trying to be honest with yourself what that is, and then put it in your diary. And if it doesn't quite work out, don't beat yourself up, but just keep at it.
Yeah.
And build it in. We've all got that ability.
Yeah.
It's just reminding ourselves of that.
So I feel like for me, especially now, I'm like yourself, like I'm really quite like work driven. I like to be busy. I mean, I feel like I'm not busy. Then by the way, if you ever hear the noises, it's no mere Marie, it's her dog. Just in case you're like, what is going on here? You try to see the show, pal. So like I'm actually talking about this moment in time just now, like it's February, like January has definitely, in fact I would say this January that's just passed has been the busiest month in my entire life.
What did you just get on your phone? How many sessions have you done, PT sessions in the month?
It was like 140
something or something.
Was it? Something like that, yeah.
It's a lot.
Yeah, but that's on top of classes, that's on top of trying to do conversations with Kira, or that's on top of trying to plan out a True Essence event. And for me, like I really do enjoy being busy, but it's like at that point now where I'm like, I can feel when I'm burning the candle at both ends. But I've always been, I wouldn't say it's a bad trait to have, it's a good trait to be really driven, but I do sometimes really push myself to the limit where I'm like, because then I start to notice my personality can slightly change because I get a wee bit more irritable about certain things, or I'll just be like, laughing at that dog.
We could put him in another room.
Stop laughing. It just keeps hitting me. So for me, it's almost like.
But that's what I said to you yesterday. Like, maybe you just need a day doing nothing, and you were like, "Oh yeah, I suppose." But actually, I think it's to say that's okay.
Yeah, but then at the same time, like I can't. Like it's not like I can't. I take that back. You can literally do anything that you say you're going to do. But sometimes, like I'll find myself even at night time. I'm like, night time's when I chill, and I'll jump into bed at 10. but then I need to go through messages and reply to people, or I'm planning something next because it's the only time I get to play catch up. But then I get annoyed at myself because even when I put my phone away, I'm still sitting there and my brain's like pinging. I'll wake up to go to the toilet at like 4 in the morning and I start thinking about, right, this is what you're actually doing for the day. I'm like, Kieran, switch off and go back to sleep.
So how would you switch off? I'm going to move on.
You need to go.
So my challenge to you, Kieran, is how do you chill out a bit?
God, she's writing me the question.
I was thinking this just when you were saying that though, like this year I've said, so I'm really driven too, but often the people that suffer can be your family because you don't spend enough time with them. And I love my family like loads and I love spending time with them. So it's trying to like sometimes just put my phone away because I'm easily just go on my phone as a distraction while I'm talking. I can actually do both, but people think, well, you're not really listening to me, you're looking at your phone. Yeah. I'm really taking that on board. I thought, right, put the phone away. And I don't do it all the time as much as I should. I love spending having time to come home from work. What are you doing tonight? Nothing. Shall we watch TV? Yeah. Put some rubbish on the TV. Get our jammies on. They're the best. So as much as I like all the fancy stuff and doing stuff, sometimes it's that and seeing my friends. And I'm dead lucky that I have loads of different circles of friends for all the different things, work, old work, school. Yeah. But it's really hard. Our lives, all my friends' lives are busy, but actually finding time and putting it in the diary. So although that can be a pressure sometimes, you're like, oh my God, so just trying to balance it out, but knowing you've got things planned to see the people that you love so much.
Do you know what it's like? It's like I actually have to schedule in time with family and friends. And like I have to laugh about it sometimes. I'm like, right, I can meet you at this time, Tuesday at 1 p.m. for half an hour because I've got a gap that I can meet you for a quick coffee and I'm back to whatever work. And again, because I do PT, fitness page, love my tan, true essence, my conversation with Kieran, I'm always doing something. I'm actually on my phone quite a lot. But see, to be honest, and this is like gen up, like I know a lot of people sit and scroll. I'm not a scroller, but I'm always doing something on my phone. Then I get annoyed. I'm like, put your phone away. Like you didn't need this.
This dog he never does this.
Listen. My challenge is, well, not my challenge, I think a thing that I'm going to do moving forward, going into this year, is now I'm having one full day off, and that's going to be a Sunday. Like I'm just going to, Sunday is time to recuperate, and I want to be more in nature. I feel because I'm indoors quite a lot, like I like to be outside, I like fresh air, I like you.
See, and I know.
I keep stuck in my words.
Because you're drunk. No, I'm joking.
Tipsy.
I agree, being outside, and it does sound boring, like, what's the point? But when I met my friend today, we went around Dalton Country Park.
Love that.
It was nice sunlight, like, we've not seen very much sunlight this year, because it's been so dark and grey.
Yeah, you need a vitamin D bit.
And we were chatting away about all sorts of things, but then you see different things, you see different people, you see other people's dogs. I was looking at birds and bloody snowdrops, because I love when the flowers start coming out the ground, like, it's that sign if it's a new year and all that stuff.
Have you ever hugged a tree?
Yeah.
No, but have you actually?
Yeah.
No, but it goes so far. I'm literally, I have. Like, I'm literally.
I agree. I know, it's a thing, I think.
Yeah, or like if you're at the beach, like I literally dig my fingers and hands in the sand.
Well, they say that's about grounding yourself. So
yeah.
It sort of ties in with what we're talking about. You can get all busy. Actually, that sort of stuff. Mm-hmm. So, I like sea swimming. And everyone's like, it's cold and it says, and I know, and it's not for everyone, and I know every bloody middle-aged woman like me's doing it, so it probably is a fad. But it's amazing because you're just at one with nature. It just makes you feel good.
And
that stops your mind.
Yeah.
You're just in that moment. So I think a hypnotherapist guy told me years ago, the only thing you can control is now.
Uh-huh.
So yes, you can have all these plans, but actually the only thing that we have ended up impact on is what we're doing right now. Yeah. What happens later on, we've got a plan, but it might not happen. Mm-hmm. What happened in the past is done. So now, sometimes when you're doing that outside nature, whatever, just that moment to just remember.
Well, releases that dopamine that lasts up to 2.5 hours, I think it is.
Effect on your vagus nerve, I think it is. I don't even actually know what it is. It doesn't matter.
But you do when you do it, and it's obviously, again, if you're training and stuff, it's obviously got the recovery benefits to it for muscle soreness and that as well. And again, I think it's just being outdoor. And everybody should get outdoors more. Fuck technology and fuck your indoors. Fresh air. Most of us live in Scotland. If you watch this and you're from Scotland, the fresh air is great. And do you know what I've not done in ages as well? Go up to the top of a hill and just scream. I'm going to need to do it.
Do you like doing that?
No, I really do.
Do you?
No, have you not done it?
So you do that, go up a hill and scream?
Honestly, I've done it a few times. I just go up and I scream. Just like, rah! And I thought,
it makes you feel better.
Oh, it makes me feel great. Mm-hmm. So I think that's what I need to do.
Try that.
Because as well, right, this is another touching subject before we conclude for today. is putting energy into something that's not worth it. So say for example, right, you'll know yourself, like sometimes things irritate you, people irritate you, but it's not worth my energy, like I don't care. But at the end of the day, stuff builds up. What do you do with this? And for me, it's like just kind of you need to like ignore it and stuff. I think you need to let it out
I
sometimes,
agree.
but you don't have to do that to a person or something. You could do it in other ways, and like rather than being so therapeutic about it, like I don't know, drawing a picture or barking. I literally think screaming.
Yeah.
Or whacking something, or
Well,
lifting
when
something
we
heavy
do
in the gym.
the boxing in the gym,
Yeah,
sometimes
you lift it
like
all
the
up. But
other
how
day,
much better do you feel?
Definitely.
Marie came into the gym, she was super stressed about something. I was like, do you want to whack something? She's like, yeah. I was like, let's go. With the boxing pads, I've literally got Mike Tyson here. A wee left, hook, hook. What have you done to this?
No more wine for you, Peter. Also, that whole, like, I think I came in yesterday and was really tired. And it was, I told you it was a weird time to train for me. It was 3 PM, which just for me is a funny time. And actually, because you were there, we did so much more than if I'd gone on my own. And I'm always saying I can't do this or swear it is, you know. But it's the same thing. You felt so much better by taking that hour. It was so easy not to. But sometimes, again, you don't have to do that all day, every day. Sometimes you need to do nothing. So it's a fine balance.
Well, let's cheers to that, babes.
Cheers, mate.
Right, thank you so much for this. This is amazing.
It's fun.
And
we've said for 3 years we'll have a glass of wine together. We've done it now.
But now I feel like it's going to be a regular thing. Like I'm obsessed.
What with wine?
Eh? No, I'm obsessed with you. Like this is fun. This is good. No, do you know what? If anything was to take away from this podcast, if you're watching, is inspiration for Marie.
Oh.
No, it is. You're very inspiring. That's what I love. I love being around people that are driven and inspiring. I think you need to surround yourself with people like that. And also, we touched on at the start as well, like age gap. Well, fuck age. Yeah. Who cares? I think just stay fabulous and keep slaying. One more cheers.
Cheers.
And you gotta go,